homestead reptile, and as I'm letting the crew out to do a little foraging in their open pasture, a lot of people want to know what are great protection animals for your chickens. And a lot of people will go to geese. Geese are not necessarily the best animal for protection, and I'll let you know why, and they are great for other reasons though. So first off, geese are super social. Geese should be with geese. It is not kind to separate a goose from a goose. So geese really need to be raised with each other. And even if you raise that goose with chickens and it's confused and it thinks it's a chicken, that is not necessarily a good decision to make. So a lot of geese cannot be sexed. So if you go to your Tractor Supply and you just get random goose, most of the time they don't even label the breed of goose. You end up with a Chinese goose and you don't know if it's a male or a female. So if it is a male, reaches sexual maturity, and it thinks it's a chicken, it's going to mate with your chickens and it's going to seriously harm, most likely kill your hen. So it's not going to do it in a malicious way. They just have different genitalia. Geese have penises, chickens do not. Kills chicken. So that can happen. Now, raising geese with geese, they're never going to look at a chicken as a potential mate because it has geese buddies. So you won't run into that problem. Geese are fearsome and they will protect each other. They will protect babies, but they do not think chickens are necessarily their babies. They don't put chickens in the same category as their goslings. So they're not really going to be interested in protecting them. And you can see here, the geese are down back that way, grazing and hanging out by themselves pretty much. They will mingle with the chickens, but they're not super buddy-buddy with the chickens. So geese aren't willing to sacrifice their life for your chickens. Now, what geese are good at is screaming. They are fantastic noisemakers. They are super alert. I mean, throughout this video, the geese were alert to the tripod I had. They were very curious about it and suspicious of it. They've been tilting their heads up, looking at the sky. And it's better in that to have more than 2 pairs of eyes looking in the sky. So having more than one goose is a better alert system. They are loud, they are huge, and they are boisterous. So what can a goose protect your chicken from? Aerial predators. Geese are large enough, noisy enough, and aggressive enough to scare away predatory birds. So you can see they are always looking in the sky. They are very alert for aerial predators. So a average red-tailed hawk, which is most states, that's the largest hawk species. There are some other larger ones, but not much larger. So the average red-tailed hawk, let's say a hefty hawk, 4 to 5 pounds. That's a huge hawk. A huge 4 to 5 pound hawk can take your average chicken. A 4 to 5 pound hawk is not beating up a 25 pound goose. It is not taking on 4 25 pound geese. It's just not. The hawk knows that to come down here to try to attack a chicken is dangerous. There's these large, scary, loud birds that honk and scream and flap their wings, and I could get seriously hurt. If I break a wing, break something, I'm never going to be hunting again, and I'm going to starve to death. Predators don't want to risk injuring themselves to take a chicken. So they're great for predatory birds. They can even defend with some small mammals. It's like they can discourage cats. I've seen them do that. They've gotten rid of cats. There's feral cats around here, and they scare the cats away. They can take on small threats. Now, they will run for their own life if a larger predator, like a dog, a bobcat, or a coyote, was coming after them. It's all gooses for themselves. They will run back in, and they will abandon the chickens, but they will scream their heads off. So that gives you, the owner of the chickens, time to settle the problem. So if you want someone to be in your flock that is going to sacrifice their lives to protect the flock, a rooster is what you need. A good rooster. A good rooster is worth his weight in gold. And we have 3 roosters right here, and they have the rooster shift. So there will be at least 2 roosters out monitoring the hens, checking on them, looking at the sky, and they're also very alert to the geese. So the roosters work with the geese. The geese are great at observing the sky. They're very loud, and if the geese are frightened, he gathers up all the hens and he'll march them into the coop and they'll run into their house. Now, they have never been seriously threatened. They're mostly scared of the buzzards, and the geese don't like the buzzards, so the geese give out false alarms for buzzards, incoming buzzards. But they are very loud, they're very boisterous, and they will tell you if something's going down. So geese are a great alert system, and they're a great deterrent. They're just big, they're loud, more than one. You want to go with more than one. So geese are kind of bullies. They are just naturally kind of a bullyish bird. So you have to watch out for this, nibbling tail feathers. So they have spotted something in the sky right here. So that is just a buzzard flying by, but the geese spotted him. They let out their alarm, and they're only mildly worried, and they're going back into their coop. So yep, you can see them all starting to march in. There was only 2 that decided they were going to brave it for the scrap pile, and it wasn't a serious threat. But the roosters gather everyone up, and they march back into the house, like I said. Geese are great at basic protection, but they're not going to risk their life against a larger predator. They are intelligent, and they know the difference between something they can bluff and scare away and something that is actually a threat and that might actually kill them. They don't want to risk their life for chickens. Your rooster will risk his life for your hens. A good rooster will. So a good rooster, like I said, is definitely worth getting if you're in certain areas. But even then, a good rooster, a really big rooster, can only defend against certain predators. Just like I've seen roosters kill hawks. I've seen roosters scare foxes off or risk their lives to kill the fox, and just to give the hens enough time to get away. And that's what your rooster's there to do. He's there to protect your hens. So a good rooster, again, is worth his weight in gold. Geese are not necessarily the best protection, but they can work well with your rooster, geese, and chickens. They can all coexist in a kind of a symbiotic way to alert each other for danger. Kind of like you see in the savannah, different animals around the watering hole, and certain animals are loud and very anxious and looking around, and when they start screaming that there's something over there and it's probably going to eat us, then everyone else gets out of the way and starts looking for it. But again, geese are great for certain guarding. They're more of an alarm system and a massive big bluff to aerial predators. But they are not good for land-based predators. So bobcats, dogs, coyotes, they're not going to do a thing. Unless there's a chihuahua attacking, then they could probably take care of that chihuahua for you. But large predators, they're going to book it. They're going to hide for themselves. They're not going to risk their lives for your chickens. Your roosters will do that. A good rooster will do that. But the rooster's job is to get the hens up, get them safe, and to get himself safe too. But again, geese are not the best predator protection. You can see again, they're very wary. They're watching the sky, and they're very suspicious. They're just a suspicious animal. They don't like new things. They're twitchy about stuff. But if this was interesting, like and subscribe, and tell me what you think in the comments.